So, this episode number 15 of The Performers I Know, has a brother sister combination. Yeah, Liora and Aaron Shuf. Gee, you know, I'm inspired. In fact, I think I'll do this intro with my sister, Alexis. Oh, Alexis, can you come in here for a second? Alexis? Oh, way to be rude to your younger brother. Oh, wait a second. She doesn't even live in this house. She lives in her own house. Maybe I should give her a call. This episode of The Performers I Know, coming at you! These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are performers I know. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Performers I Know, episode number 15. That's right. If you had three hands, all three of them would be in use right now because you're counting up to 15. Spectacular. This week is actually a first for the show because we have not one, but two guests in studio. They are a brother and sister combination, two very talented individuals. Let's give a big old round of applause to my guests, Liora and Aaron Shuf. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you.
That's right. Now, we're going to get something out of the way um, that some of you might not realize is that we are speaking with somebody who has been on a Broadway stage. That's right. Not only were they on a Broadway stage, the play won the best Tony Award. Okay? Not many people can say that they've been in a Broadway show that won the Tony Award. But we're going to get to that in a little bit. First things first, once upon a time during the COVID days, 2019, 2020, I met both Leora and Aaron. I'll be honest with you, 2020 is kind of a blur for me. The days kind of just blend together. I'm not even sure how I met Liara and Aaron, but meet them I did and did several projects with them, and they were spectacular. So, my first question, if you guys will answer me one at a time, what got you interested in doing theater and acting? What got you bitten by the acting?
All right, so I think I can answer this one from both of us. Um, but this is Liora, by the way.
No
So
kidding.
I have always been a huge singer. When I was very, very young, I was obsessed with Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. I would sing it 24/7. And then my mom introduced me to shows, and in kindergarten, I did my very first musical. I was Annie in Annie.
Oh,
In first grade, I did Annie again, and I was Miss Hannigan. And that starts a whole long list of shows. Um,
well,
but
you've done Annie many times from what
I've
I
only
saw.
done it twice.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
actually thought you did like virtual versions of it.
Oh, right. No, I forgot about that. That was an experience. Yeah, no, I did it 3 times. But since listening to Les Mis at the ripe age of 7 in my mom's blue Honda to doing the workshop of Days of Wine and Roses in 2019, which is now a show on Broadway, it has been
Yeah.
a fun and wild ride. And Aaron, what do you
Mhm.
want to say? I got my brother into acting. I begged and pleaded with him to do the Addams Family Jr. with me and he agreed, and then he got on Broadway. So
Is
After
this
lots of whining, because I thought that I had stage fright and I did not want to go on stage.
yeah, he
'cause-
thought he had stage fright when he hadn't even been on a stage before.
Yeah, because
well,
I was afraid that I
well,
would
hold
mess
on a
up
second now. To be
lines.
fair, to be fair, that it's a very daunting task to go on stage. So you don't know. I mean,
What? What?
hey,
Okay, maybe I was born for it. I was born for it. I can't really say
True.
anything.
That is true.
My life has been a stage since I was born.
That is
Tisk
also
tisk.
true.
it's just the fact that for somebody like Aaron or anybody else for that matter, if you've never stepped foot on a stage before, to be in front of all those people, it can be very daunting. So I wouldn't poo-poo that just yet. So yes. Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned Day of Wine and Roses because I was going to bring that up in a little while.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but but
Oopsies. Sorry.
you know what? You've totally you ruined the immersion,
Oh,
Leora.
I'm so sorry.
You know, I'll try and find it in my heart to forgive you, but
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, maybe like
The
a
urge.
50.
I was just. This is reminding me of a song that was stuck in my head all day. Ugh,
Oh,
it's so hard.
oh,
Control yourself. I can't.
you gotta you gotta hang in there,
Yeah.
Leora. Now, the one of the first major projects that Leora did with me, and Aaron for that matter, was our infamous An American Tale reading from 2020, which, as we all, well, for those of you who saw it live, it kind of went off the rails a little bit. But once we edited that son of a gun, it sounded perfect. Now, Leora played Tanya. And if I recall correctly, that was your grandmother or great grandmother's name?
My both of my grandmother's names actually. Both of my
Oh,
grandmothers are named Tatiana or Tanya for short.
Tatiana. And what was your feelings going into this project, being
Um,
able to do such a daunting animated film?
I was very excited because it was my first like virtual reading thing. Um, and I love An American Tale. I love the movie. I've watched it multiple times. So I was pretty excited to do it.
Well, Aaron came in on the clutch, um, because the guy who was supposed to play Mo, the big burly bodyguard, dropped out at the last second. So if you ever listen to that recording and you hear a really, really, really pitched down, deep, bellowing voice saying, "Hey, get back to work," that's just Aaron with his voice pitched down. I don't know if Aaron quite remembers that.
Do you remember that?
I'm not sure. I think like I kind of remember. Yeah, I think I remember. I think I remember.
All I remember is when you did the laughing, it sounded kind of like Soda Popinski from Mike Tyson's Punch Up. Oh, 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 oh.
Oh,
Essentially, yes.
Get back to work.
Get back to work. Essentially, yes. It was very amusing because I remember your mom saying, "But he's so young. Like, how are you going to make him sound like that?" Like, don't worry about it. Just don't. I just all I did was pitch your voice all the way down, and it sounded just like something out of Has Been Hotel, like a demon
Oh my
from the
god.
like a Cthulhu demon was just coming out to get
God,
it.
I love Has Been Hotel.
I could not even. I don't know what gave it away, but yes, you do love that film so very much.
Literally right 15 minutes before I got onto this call, I was literally singing "It Starts with Sorry" from Has Been Hotel.
I don't know what 12 of those words mean, but I will I will take your word for it. I've heard very little about Has Been Hotel.
Oh my god, please watch it. It's so good.
I will just because you said it, I will watch it.
Yay. My mission in
Um,
life is complete.
you know, I doing a lot of research as I want to do. Leora had a background in doing some opera performances amongst these very operas. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Iolanthe,
Iolanthe.
Iolanthe. That was my next guess.
Yeah.
And there is a performance of her singing "Oh Foolish Faye," and I remember it was just
Oh my gosh.
it was
That
absolutely
was
fabulous.
I love
Whoever it
that.
was that played that guard guy was just
He
mwah,
was so much older than me at the time. Ugh.
my goodness gracious. Now, what were you interested in doing kind of like a Gilbert and Sullivan-ish opera thing, or was this just something that you fell into because it was an audition?
Um, honestly, I don't fully remember, but I think um I'm pretty sure I was just like, oh, this sounds fun, I'll do it. And I didn't actually sing it like an opera because my thing, my whole shtick as a performer is my high, strong belt. And
Hmm.
only recently have I gotten close to mastering my head voice. Um, but back then I only really knew how to belt. I did not know how to do like the opera style. So I went into it being like, oh yes, contemporary musical. Totally.
Sure. I mean, you're much better off than me because I can't sing worth anything. Last time I tried to sing, the ASPCA came along and asked if there was a dying cat on the premises. So it was just, it took about 20 minutes to convince them, no, it was just me singing.
Oh my gosh.
Have I heard this story
Oh,
before?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
so the there's actually three major things that I want to talk about here. Um, so as I said, somebody on this call was on a Broadway stage for many performances. Uh, a little play called Leopoldstadt.
Leopoldstadt.
Leopoldstadt, yes.
No, it is not
And
that.
Mr. Aaron
Yeah.
was in the show, and I had the privilege of going to see it, and I thought it was just wonderful. Aaron, how in the world did this come about?
Well, when I was really young, my sister convinced me to get into acting. And as we talked about a few minutes
It
ago,
was 2 hours of begging with him.
yeah.
I remember it like it
Mm.
was yesterday.
And after a lot of tries, she finally convinced me to get into theater. After a lot, after several years of taking auditions and doing small things, I finally got another audition. I thought it was a normal audition, but it wasn't. It was an audition for Lampenstadt, and I didn't know how big it was at the time. And when I got it, and booked it, I was excited but really nervous at the same time because I I was not ready for that at all, or so I thought.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I saw you perform, you were a natural on stage, and
Thank
I
you.
thought it was swell. Tom Stoppard would have been very proud. You know, actually, funny enough, um, around, I want to say 2023-ish, or very late 2022, I was auditioning people for one of my virtual shows. And this young lady came along, gave a really good performance. And but I looked at her what I thought was her schedule, and it said, "Oh, she's in the Nutcracker." So when I spoke to her after her audition, I said, "You know, is your schedule going to permit since you're in the Nutcracker?" So she goes, "Oh no, I'm not in the Nutcracker, but I am in a pretty big show though." So of course, me wanting to be a conversationalist, I was like, "Oh, well, what show are you in?" "Oh, I'm in Leopoldstadt on Broadway." Uh, pardon me, Ava Michelle Heil.
In Michelle.
Very Ava Michelle, very talented young lady. I think she was in your cast, Aaron, or did it depend?
Um, I'm pretty sure she was in on the other cast.
All right, all right. But that was just a absolute coinky dink of a thing. But Leora is no slouch when it comes to performing with famous people. And by that I mean she did a skit with Louis Black on The Daily Show. hmm But she didn't even go by her real name. She went by a character.
Olivia.
Olivia, yes. And yours was the question that he was just like, well, that's a good question for once in your life. How did that come about, and what was it like working with Louis Black?
So it was just so now I'm taking a break from auditions because of school. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but back then I was getting self tapes, voiceovers, everything a lot. And so I got this one. Um, I don't remember if it was explicitly stated as the Daily Show or if it was just, ooh, just do this. So I did the audition, uh, got the part, which was actually very surprising. I've only ever gotten like 2 roles through self tapes. Um, so I was really happy. And it was obviously over Zoom. Um, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't actually get to speak with Louis Black or really work with him much. I did obviously get to meet him, say hello to him over the meeting, but it was just mainly okay, let's do another take of the scene. This is what you're gonna do, this is when you're gonna say it, change your name to this, blah blah blah. And I wish I had the chance to speak with him, but all in all, it was a really fun experience.
Because I spoke to your mom and I was like, oh, did they pre-record each other and then splice it together? And she was just like, no, he was on the call with all of them. He was
Yeah.
there live. So I mean, Louis Black is one of my favorite comedians. So I was just like,
Mm.
ah. I know she's like 13, but I'm jealous of a 13-year-old right now. Or at the
I
time,
am 15. I'm 15. Thank you very
well,
much.
at the time,
Yeah.
this was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes. But so let's circle back now.
Oh, speaking of famous actors, am I gonna get to talk about how I meet famous actors for a living now?
Well, yes, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that
All
very
right, all
soon.
right.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know I'm so amazing.
You are super duper amazing. Um, well, you know what? Let's swap questions first. You have a kind of a reoccurring gig on Broadway World where you are a junior interviewer of some sort, and you've met a
Yes.
lot of different interesting peoples.
Yeah.
Now, how did you parlay yourself into something that awesome?
Okay. So, a while back, over a year ago, there was an advertisement for Kid Critics on Broadway World. And I was like, oh, well, this is just like me, but I'm a teenager, so I can't do it. And lo and behold, a year later, there comes an advertisement. Teen Critics, a continuation, but for teens. So of course I had to send in a self-tape. And what do you know? They loved me and they let me be in there. And it's the
Uh,
best thing ever.
the first one that I saw was you interviewed somebody from Back to the Future.
Yes, that was not the first one I did. Um, so the thing is, we had the regular Teen Critics series, which is I've done 2 of those. I no, now I've done 3 of them. I went to a screening of the movie Theater Camp, which actually a couple of my friends are in it. Um,
Hmm.
then I went to go see Back to the Future, and I saw Emergence off Broadway. Um, all 3 of those are absolutely amazing. So if you haven't seen them, go see them. Um, and then the people at Broadway World, they emailed me. They were like, "Oh hey, Liora is just amazing, and we were thinking of giving her her own interview series. So now I have a separate series of just me interviewing Broadway actors, and I've only gotten to do one. They let me interview JJ Neiman from Back to the Future, and he's
Right.
now going to be in Smash soon. Um, and I'm actually getting paid for that, which is really exciting.
More than I'm getting paid. That's for gosh darn sure. Do you have, can you divulge any possible upcoming guests or
No. I was supposed to be doing one like a month or every 2 months, but I haven't been able to think of one and I haven't been able to find the time. But hopefully I'll have another one soon.
all right. Now to get into the swap question, you were in fact in a workshop for Days of Wine and Roses, or if
Yep.
you're a Muppet fan, Day of Swine and Roses. I kill me. And it is now on Broadway. What was that experience like for you?
So it was my first real professional experience. It was my first and only time having a tutor. Um, I got to work with Adam Gettle, Kelly O'Hara, Brian Darcy James, which was amazing. So I got to
You
commute
guys meet all
to the
the cool
city.
people. Hmm.
Yeah, I got to commute to the city by train at 7 a.m. with my dad because my dad goes to work too in the city. Um, and I just remember having my tea in the morning and then bringing a cheese stick for lunch and other stuff. I just I remember that room. It was a lot of fun and it was super cool. I admit I was younger, so I said a few things that I probably shouldn't have shared with these people, but it's okay. That
You
sounded
know,
really bad, actually. And no,
you know,
I think the worst thing I said was, "Oh, I don't actually listen to my recordings. I just record them and then I forget." And I think that was, I feel very
yeah.
embarrassed about the fact that I said that to them.
Mr. Darcy James, one time I punched a giraffe on a dare. Oh, well. What an interesting child.
Yeah. But
Ah,
yeah,
yeah.
that experience was super funny. I remember my tutor had a massive crush on Brian Darcy James. So when he was in the hallway going to the bathroom, I would be like, "Hey, look, he's walking in the hallway. Hey, go say hi. Go say hi. Hey, Brian, Brian, she wants to say something to you." It was really
Shut up, Leora. Oh man. Um, Aaron, you've been a little bit quiet, so let me get back to you. I do
yeah. Come
apologize
on.
for putting you out on the back seat. Recently,
Mhm.
you just wrapped up Anastasia. You
Mhm.
played one of the what was your role? You'll have to forgive me.
My role was Alexi.
Alexi. The only thing I saw was a video of you doing the moonwalk backstage.
Oh, you saw that video?
I did.
I'm very proud of my moonwalk.
You
My
should be
moonwalk
very
was
proud of
good.
your moonwalk. Not too many people can do that properly. What was the experience like working with such a lovely, lovely cast doing a show such as Anastasia?
Oh, it was it was it was very amazing. I'm so happy I got to work with with the people that I worked with because they were really kind, they were helpful, they were energetic, they played with me backstage. It was a great experience and they were honestly amazing on the stage.
That's excellent to hear. I always love to hear positivity when it comes to backstage and working with a cast. Leora, you just wrapped up Fiddler on the Roof, where you played Golda.
Yes, just
Hmm.
yesterday wrapped it up.
Ah, yes. Well, as we're recording this, it wrapped up yesterday, but yes, it's
Wrapped up on
actually,
February 4th, my birthday.
yes, that is correct. And I did wish Leora a happy belated birthday, Ready. It's actually kind of funny because I was looking at the pictures and it was reminding me of, I can't remember what sketch show it was, where they were making fun of Fiddler on the Roof. And they had a guy dressed as Tevye, and a woman just as Golda. Golda, do you love me?
Do I what?
Well, the punchline was she just looked at him and went, no, and then walked away. Like, oh wow, guess the show's over then. Everybody put the curtain down. Yes. So getting back to Aaron's Broadway turn, as I stated earlier, Leopoldstadt won the Best Play Tony Award, and I believe the cast had like a little impromptu, not so much impromptu. There was a gathering at a restaurant, which I thought was rather strange. I'm not sure why they wouldn't have the cast be there, but maybe it was a matter of too many. They didn't want the auditorium to be too crowded. But Aaron,
Oh,
what was the feeling like when you saw that the show won Best Play, Tony?
I was thrilled because for the past year, I was for the year before that, uh, leading up to that event, I kept asking like my parents and everyone I saw related to the show, is he gonna win the Tony? Like, what's gonna happen? And when I heard that my show won the Tony Award for Best Play, I was I was very happy and very thrilled. I hit the floor screaming yes. I actually have a video of that.
He hit the floor and he tore his Achilles heel. He was out for 6 months.
Yeah.
Terrible injury. Terrible. No, no, not really. Can't. He didn't actually injure himself. I can't lie. Oh my goodness. Are you guys doing any kind of future projects going on, or right now is it kind of like in a just a relaxation period?
Currently um I'm doing I'm in one voice acting job, and I haven't been called there to do any more episodes um in a couple months.
Hmm.
I'm still doing it.
Yes, just like it's actually kind of funny because Aaron did a major voice role for one of my shows, The Baker Street Irregulars. He played Sparrow. And one thing that I couldn't help but notice, much to my delight, is that he tended to do a couple of lines. He would do like three or four different takes. It's just like, Aaron, you struck gold the first time. You don't have to keep drilling. Is that something that you were taught to do, or is that just something that like as a perfectionist kind of thing for you?
Yeah, I'm a huge perfectionist.
Oh yes. So am I. So am I. In fact, when I was coming up with the introduction for this show, I did I did 81 takes, and this was the best I could do. Um, I judge by your silence, you don't believe me.
What?
Never mind. Well, as we look at the old clock on the wall, we are rapidly running out of time. As much as I would like to chat more with these very talented individuals, we do have to start winding things down for the episode. But I have one last question for the both of you. What piece of advice would you give to somebody who came up to you to say, "Hey, Leora," or "Hey, Aaron, I'm looking to get into theater or voice acting or singing or dancing." What would be the piece of advice you would give them in order to say, like, this is what you should do if you want to succeed in the business?
Um, I would first off, I would start by telling them that it's a really stressful job, and it takes a lot of work and dedication, and not only that, you get a lot of auditions for stuff, and most of the time you don't get it, and it's really upsetting. Like, if you get
99.99999% of the time, you will not get a role.
yes, that is very accurate.
Mhm.
Um, what I would say is first off, be yourself. Don't if you get an audition and it's like something that's completely not you, don't bend. That sounds really weird. Just be yourself in general. Don't turn yourself into a whole different person for agents and managers and people. Because the most important thing should be taking care of yourself and making sure that you can be your best self. The next thing I would say is you can't go into acting thinking that you are the best and that you will never fail. You can't be afraid of failure. You have to embrace it to succeed. And oh, there was something I was gonna say. Oh yeah. Every single audition you get, you don't know how many other people are going up for it. So do your best. Give your best shot at it no matter what. Someone will see it and someone will remember you for something else. It doesn't matter if you get it or if you don't, but you will be remembered. So don't let that get you down. If you don't have the right hair color, if maybe your eyelashes are too short for the role, whatever, just keep trying and you got this.
I can't ever say I've heard somebody go, Dane, you were right for the role, but your eyelashes are just way.
That was a bad example, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You get the message.
No, I get the point. I'm just busting your chops. But yes, well, thank you very much to Leora and Aaron.
Of course. It was our pleasure.
Yes, it
Go
was.
go to BroadwayWorld.com and watch all of my reviews, please.
I will do that right now.
And to the wonderful listeners. Thank you for listening.
As the outro music plays us out, I will say thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you on the next episode. Have a good night, everybody. I know, these are performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are performers I know.